Hey guys, Scott Jones here from Heavily Pixelated, the internet's #1 favorite video game show. Not quite number one. Uh, we're off to a good start though. We're doing great here in the opening weeks and months now. I feel like it's time for me to say, listen, I want to make this my full-time job. So being on Patreon is about making this a full-time job for me. I'm very good at this. I've been interviewing people for a long time. The gist of the show is that it's a 50% therapy session, like when you're laying on the couch looking up at the ceiling and the doctor asks, well, tell me about your mother. And it's 50% celebration of a great video game. It's like a weird hybrid of those two things. And I want to make the show because I feel like games have gotten me personally through lots of tough times in my life. And I'm working on an episode right now that is a very personal story. I've never shared it with anyone before, and I'm getting ready to release that in the coming weeks. So brace yourselves. So what will happen with the money that you donate to Patreon? I'll tell you what I'll do. Mostly I'll travel. I'll need to travel to collect these interviews. I always travel and coach. I always stay in the cheapest, crummiest, lousiest hotels. The idea here is to squeeze the budget, get as many interviews as I can for the dollars that I spend. The other thing that I need is to replace equipment when it breaks down. Sometimes these microphones, as durable as they are, sometimes they don't last forever. So I need to be ready to replace those things. And so that's what your money will be going towards. I mean, I really feel like there's no other podcast on the planet that does what we're trying to do over here. And I feel like the world is ready for this podcast because, as gamers age, their value system starts to evolve and change. And so what I'm trying to do is create a new kind of podcast, one where gamers can show how incredibly articulate and introspective they are. I do genuinely believe that gamers are some of the best people we have on the planet. They're my favorite people. And so I'll be getting them to open their hearts and souls and let us all peek inside for a minute. And then the second half of the show is really a celebration of a great video game. Because I worked as a TV host and as a writer in the industry for almost 20 years, I have contacts throughout the industry. And so what I like to do is give guests on the show a chance to have a minute with the people that made those games, the very games that got them through a tough time, and to say thank you. I think gratitude is incredibly important. We don't show it to each other often enough. The podcast, I really feel like, is an opportunity for gratitude. And so I hope you'll support Heavily Pixelated on Patreon. I got lots of good things planned for the future, but they're all in my head right now. If you donate $1 or $2, you can help bring those things out of my head, man. You can help make great podcasts come to life. Come and support us today. We need your help.